I'm Isis Romero, and this is the news in San Antonio. Video shows how a high-speed chase with Bexar County deputies came to an end. A homeowner's surveillance camera captured the moments leading up to a deputy shooting a man on Saturday night. The sheriff says a man led the deputy on a chase after the car he was driving came up stolen. That driver has been identified as 44-year-old Joshua Ryan Garcia. The homeowner who shared this video says he believes the deputy did the right thing.
The car was headed towards him, and he couldn't probably get out of the way. It was pretty scary for everybody.
The sheriff says Garcia is now out of the hospital and is in the Bexar County Jail. The deputy involved is on administrative leave while the investigation continues. A horrific case of child sex assault. Nearly 2 years after the alleged crime took place, authorities say they've arrested a suspect accused of sexually assaulting a 4-year-old. Rania Kaur tells us what's in the court documents.
It was actually DNA that connected Michael Moreno III to the sexual assault of that 4-year-old almost 2 years ago. In court documents, it says 19-year-old Michael Moreno III was babysitting the 4-year-old when the assault happened back in September 2023. Detectives said the 4-year-old complained to her mom about being in pain and told her what happened. Investigators eventually connected Moreno's DNA to the child. By December 2024, Moreno was facing a charge of aggravated sexual assault of a child, but San Antonio police weren't able to arrest him until last Thursday. He was booked into the Bexar County Jail and now also faces a charge of resisting arrest, search, or transport. Rania Kaur, KENS 5.
A mother says her 4-year-old son was slapped by a teacher at a Seguin preschool, but she didn't find out until months later. Now, as police investigate the allegation, she feels the punishment handed down to the teacher was not enough. Simone Simpson spoke with the mom.
The parent of the then 4-year-old boy, Alyssa Lamb, told us she wasn't informed of the incident until 5 months later. Even then, the information came from an employee who no longer works at the preschool. Alyssa is sharing her son's story so that more parents are aware.
There were reports made, like incident reports that were had my son's name on them. That for an incident that occurred with my son, and I had no idea.
Alyssa Lamb says back in January, her then 4-year-old son was slapped at Leap Ahead Learning in Seguin, but she didn't know until months later when a former employee who worked in the same classroom told her.
The director suspended the teacher, but she kept going back and saying, hey, are we going to do anything more? Are you going to do anything else? She should be fired.
Lamb says the suspension of that teacher was for 3 days, and the former employee was distraught over it.
She was worried, she was going to lose her job, but at the same time, she couldn't sleep. She was having trouble eating.
Lamb says she was not allowed to look at the surveillance footage, but based on what the former employee and daycare director told her, the footage was shocking.
You couldn't see the hit, him being slapped, but you could see he comes into the footage angle as he's flying and falling onto another student.
Seguin police say they're investigating and have conducted multiple interviews, including Lamb's son. They also said the Texas Department of Health and Human Services has launched its own investigation. The director of the preschool stated she is not at the liberty to comment during the open investigation.
I figured if I come forward, then other parents might ask their kids, hey, has anything happened there? And other kids will open up to their parents. That's my hope.
Simone Simpson, KENS 5.
Residents face off with management. Concerned about their safety, residents of a mobile home park came together to stop fencing from coming down. Zach Briggs shares their concerns.
Those living here at Westwood Mobile Home Estates are frustrated, and they're demanding answers from corporate surrounding plans to remove fencing from the property. They fear such action could mean making the community less safe. That's why dozens of tenants have signed their names as part of this petition to bring awareness to the issue.
I want management to step up.
This community is a great community, and I'm willing to fight for them.
Community huddles like this have become more common in recent weeks. Lois Lopez leading the charge in fighting for clarity after she says management informed tenants that fencing would be coming down for reasons unknown. And now residents are worried about certain unwelcome guests making their way onto the property.
I'm concerned about the homeless community coming more into our lots when we don't have our fence up.
It is a form of security for us.
Kathy Taylor loves living here, but she's unsettled by the homeless activity in the area.
They just come in anytime, any day, any hour. I've had some come into the vacant house next door and start fire there.
As for potential solutions, Lopez is pushing for an entry gate.
Our concern is to put a main gate in the front, not take down our gates. That's what we need to keep those people from coming in.
Lopez intends on emailing a copy of that petition to corporate officials, whom she's tried getting a hold of with no success. And now a community is wondering what's next, including whether tenants will be footing the bill for the fence removal.
I think it would be best if they communicated with us to let us know, what's going to happen.
And I did reach out to the company that owns this property. They're based out of Utah. Texts, emails, and phone calls went unanswered. I'm Zach Briggs, KENS 5.
The Spurs will be sporting a new patch on their jerseys next season. On Tuesday, the team introduced Ledger, a crypto security company based in Paris, as their newest partners. According to the French company's website, Ledger says they're the world leader in digital asset security for consumers and enterprises.
As we've gotten to know about digital security and the values alignment, it was clear from us when we sat together how much we had in common, how much we had the opportunity to really change the world in places. Basketball, our team.
The new jerseys will debut at the NBA draft. And after 6 decades of service, San Antonio's saltiest sea captain is taking a shore leave. Jolly Jack, the 10-foot-tall Sea Island Shrimp House mascot across from North Star Mall, was brought down on Tuesday morning. Jolly Jack's damaged concrete will be restored and will be reinforced with fiberglass. The process is expected to take about 8 weeks. And that's the news in San Antonio.